I'm Rob Licuria, Senior Editor at Gold Derby, here with Maria Bakalova, who co-stars as Borat's daughter Tutar in Borat Subsequent Moviefilm. Maria, I would never have imagined that the true hero of the Borat sequel is Tutar. His sheltered, devoted, and ultimately brilliant daughter. Like, I just loved her and I was following her and I wanted her to succeed. And by the end, like, I was standing and clapping for her. Is that how you feel about her? Do you love her as well?
I love Tuta as a character, and Tuta actually teach me a lot how to be, I don't know, how to pursue my dreams, how to like follow everything that I want to do, because she's been not that confident in the beginning, same as me. I mean, I'm coming from Bulgaria. I'm coming from a small country in Bulgaria, not even the capital of Bulgaria, and I don't have my parents and all of my relatives. They're not even in the industry, neither musicians or artists at all. And I've been always like, is this ever gonna happen? I mean, I'm coming from nowhere. Should I follow my dreams? Should I be that ambitious? Is it possible? And same as Tuta, somehow I had my godmother in Bulgaria that was pushing me harder. You can do it. You can do it. And I met my second godmother, probably my biggest one, at Janice Jones' face. Because even today, I've been keep thinking about her as a human being. And yeah, I'm extremely happy with the Tuta's journey that we all experienced. And I think it's quite motivating a lot of the girls all over the world how they can do everything. They can be everything.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way because obviously back in Bulgaria, you're a trained actor and you've been in other roles. I think you were in Gomorrah, the Italian show, which I love, by the way. It's a whole other story. We'll do that another interview another time on that one. But your journey is so interesting because you have come out of a small Eastern European country and now you're a big star in a big movie in Los Angeles. But yeah, it must be surreal. I know it's obvious to ask this question, but how actually has this movie changed your life? Every day now, it's got to be it's like another planet.
It is another planet. It is another thing. Probably the biggest achievement that I can say that I have in general is that I received tons of messages from kids around the world that their hopes has never been stronger and that they can be whatever they want to be, because I think that even in the movie there is a quite big message behind it, that no matter our differences, no matter what we believe in, because as example of this is also Jim and Jerry, Sasha's quarantine friends, that they believe that Hillary Clinton drinks blood from young people, but at the same time they are good people, and as a human beings this should not change our expectations, our treating of people. If you believe in something else, if you look different, if you're sexually oriented different, you can still be a good person, and we should all support each other all every step on the way. And somehow maybe this is like the biggest achievement in general, but also as a human, also as my real personal life. I'm with CIA now, and probably for me this is the most important thing. And they've been taking care of me, like finding me another jobs, auditions, meetings, and it's big. It's something that I never thought that it's been able to happen.
Wow, it's a fairy tale. That's what it feels like. It really does. What you say about the people that you encounter in the US is really interesting because some of those scenes are so uncomfortable. They're embarrassing. They're awkward, and they're with everyday Americans, right? And people that we know very well, which we'll talk about later. Do you appreciate months later? I mean, you've answered this, but I'm curious to know more what you think because they say and do some really horrible things, and we don't agree with them politically, and yet there's something about them all that were very humanized. And I think that's what this film does better than any other film, I think. It would really open my eyes to the other side. And do you agree that that's a very difficult thing to get right, but your films seem to really have done that quite successfully?
I'm not completely sure that I understand the question. I believe that Sasha has been saying that the movie is quite political. Me as not American, I can't say that I'm completely familiar with American policy, American politicians at all, because I've been living here for maybe max almost 2 years. So it's ridiculous to say that I have a position completely. But yeah, I met a lot of people that, I don't know, at the end of the day, we're all humans, we're all right. And so I'm not sure how to answer the question.
No, I
I
think
guess.
that's actually exactly right. Well, I think all I'm trying to say is not very succinctly, I'm sorry, is like these people are saying and doing horrible things, like they believe Hillary Clinton drinks the whatever, but they were quite likable and normal people that you never see that on TV at the protests or whatever. You think they're all horrible, but then they're actually not. They're just
No.
different. And did that open your eyes?
Yeah, I think this is for me as an audience, because I watched the movie too hundreds of times, and every single time I'm seeing good things in most of the people that we've been, no matter the fact that the situations are exaggerated, everything is over the top, it's too much. I mean, I'm speaking with this ridiculous voice that is still in my head. Like, I completely forget at some point that I'm speaking with falsetto, or not, let's say it in English, for the last 2 years. And one day when I was with my friends, I was like, ah, da, 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 and they were like, Jesus Christ, what is happening with you? Why are you
Yeah.
speaking like that? And I was, and because I was keeping quiet about what is the project that I'm working on, they were like, are you in a puppet theater? Did you change your specialty? Because I'm coming from a completely dramatic background. And yeah, it was different. But in the movie, I believe we're showing that people can be good people, no matter the fact of what they believe in. What is their, are they like conservatives, are they liberals? They can be good people, and
Yeah,
they are.
and they are. But the flip side is this, just showing people that they're most honest, right? They're being filmed. They don't know. A lot of them don't know they're being filmed, and they're saying and doing things. And maybe people have an issue with that. Like, you've kind of exposed someone without their consent. But my view is, if you've got nothing to hide, right, then you shouldn't have anything to worry about. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree that first of all, I'm too honest as a human being. I think this is my problem. Recently, um, a new friend of mine, when we were hanging out, she told me, Jesus Christ, I've never seen something like this. It's like your brain has a mouth. And I was like, I know, I know. I mean, there is not even a single moment for me thinking about saying something. This is the honesty part. But at the same time, because of this movie and because I've seen it so many times, I was like, so maybe we should think about what are we doing? What are our actions before we do something? Because this can affect somebody and somebody's, I don't know, attitude. So we should be more responsible of what we are doing, no matter not so impulsive. Me too. That's why I'm keep like thinking about, okay, what should I change now? What should I do now better, and how to become a better person somehow. I don't know.
I agree, mate. I have no filter, so I just say things, and then I'm like, "Oh, sorry." So we're the same in that respect. So I get it. And this film teaches you, oh, maybe be careful what you say to certain people. You never know, you might offend them. But anyway,
Yeah, I mean, if you, especially as you said, especially if you have something to hide, maybe think carefully what you're doing
yeah.
before you do it.
I wonder as well. Both you and Sacha Baron Cohen. You have to stay in character for a really long time, I would imagine, when you're setting the scene and and it's being shot in however secret way. I still don't really understand how it's done. But staying in character, is that exhausting? Was that very difficult to do?
um, I think it's quite confusing because I remember when we were talking recently with Sasha, and he was like, at some point, I forget, am I Borat? Am I
Oh,
Sasha? When he was living, because he lived like 5 days in this house with these people in character. And I remember when we were, Jason reminded me, the director, Jason Woolner, who I completely love and appreciate. I'm extremely thankful to everything that he did for me. He reminded me a story of the babysitter of Janice, because at some point there was a break and everybody left the house. All of the equipment, the camera department, the directors, the script writers, Sasha, and we had to change location, and they forget about me. They basically
oh,
left me there without this to be in the plan. And I was still going, okay, I'm to 10. I was keep like doing things, and it is quite confusing because it's this thing like method acting. uh it's going so much deep in your brain, and you're like, who am I? It might be quite exhausting. It might be quite exhausting, especially mentally, probably.
yeah.
I mean,
I
look at
think
me now.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how you do it. It's just, but I mean, that you're thankfully you've got training because I would probably go mad. Speaking of Janice Jones, I really loved what she brought to the film. I felt a little bad for her, but she wasn't because she wasn't in on the joke. But I mean, the film does not make her out to be a bad person. In fact, we all love her. Have you spoken to her since you shot the film?
Yes, I was. I called her for the first time because I was not so sure how to do it properly, because I also felt a little bit, even in the scene I was crying for real, and I was that close to break my character because she was such a such an angel, really.
Yeah.
I don't even know what other word to use,
Yeah.
because she the perfect example of an angel. And when I talked with her, I was thinking that it should be kind of special. So I decided, because it was my first Thanksgiving that I celebrate here this year, and I called her and I was like, I just want to thank you for everything that you did for me, and even for me as Maria, and showing me how we should all treat each other better. We should all support each other, because you have no idea, but I was keep repeating the same stupid question over and over again, and she was keep politely listening to me and trying to educate me what is right, what is wrong, how I should be strong, how I should appreciate what I am, and how I should not dedicate my life to please other people except me. Uh, Especially for the things that how you look like. It's ridiculous, right? We're all wearing this makeup and clothes and blah, blah, blah. But even if you're doing it, it should be more for your confidence and for your well-being, rather than to just fit in some stereotype of something. So when I called her in on Thanksgiving, she was the same angel that we all saw in the movie. And yeah, I've been texting with her recently more, because I want to keep this relationship going somehow. COVID, not it's not helping with it, because she's basically just in another state. I'm now in United States, so I would love to travel and see her and hug her and kiss her, but I can't because it's COVID and it's not responsible.
So you have to wait. But it makes me really happy that you guys have reconnected, and obviously she seems receptive to you as well, which is a really lovely story. That's
I
great.
mean, kind of, I felt guilty that I wasn't be able to be completely honest with her, no matter the fact that I was believing that I'm living Tuta's life. But I was worried that she's been still worrying about this person, this Tuta, until the day we release the movie, and she find out that this girl is just a character. And that made my heart melted, that she's been still remembering me and worried about me, and it's been just beautiful and touching and everything.
It really is. It's the highlight of the film. There's a lot of controversy, which we'll talk about now, but the Janice Jones stuff really surprised me. I didn't see it coming. And that's what I think elevates this film to more than just a prank, funny comedy. It's actually really an interesting kind of portrait of America. And it says a lot of really horrible things, but it does a lot of really beautiful things too. Anyway, we'll run out of time if I just keep blabbering, but I did want to talk about the Giuliani scene. I know everybody wants to talk about Giuliani with you. I could not believe what I was seeing with my own eyes, how you were able to remain in character. You had this man who is very well known, and you got him in a hotel room, and then obviously we see what we see. It's exploded across the world in terms of the story, and you're right at the center of it. How does that feel to be a part of this thing that people will talk about for years to come?
For me, I knew that this is an important scene for the movie, and me, first of all, as an actress, I had to do it. I mean, maybe what kind of relaxed me was that I'm not exactly American. I'm not at all American, and I wasn't that. I don't know. I wasn't that scared, and because Sasha and the team also made me feel that I'm safe in any kind of way, because we did everything completely legally. Everything was absolutely legal in every scene that we did. And also Sasha, also not only as a producer, actor, and creator of this movie, as a human being, he's been always like a father for me, fighting and protecting me. So I was quite worried because I was alone in the scene. I'm worried in every scene that I'm alone, but especially with this one. And I remember that I was learning his full biography the night before with Nicole, Sasha's personal assistant. I was falling asleep and she was keep reading me facts and facts and facts. So I was kind of prepared. And also Sasha was in the closet, so he was able to run and save me from everything. So it was an interesting situation. But again, I'm not American. I'm not into American politics. So
Yeah.
maybe that's some.
It probably helped. But yeah, when he stormed into the room and screamed that Tutar was too old for him, I mean, I just laughed so hard. And to see you guys running on the street with his ridiculous underwear, it was a good moment. It was one of the greatest moments of the whole year. I also really enjoyed, there was two other scenes that I was going to briefly talk, or three actually. The pro-life clinic where Tutar has a baby inside of her was just gold. Like, could you, I mean, how do you keep a straight face? That is just ridiculous. It's so funny.
It was really funny because Sasha is also super convincing right next to me. And he's like, yeah, no, when can you take it out now, please? No. And I have a baby inside me and it has to be super confident. And it's like, it's a problem. And you're going, and I was quite shocked when I find out that right next to medical centers here in America, there are these places called pregnancy crisis centers where people are actually trying to make you keep the baby no matter the fact that you wanted it. I mean, if I was raped, what I'm not allowed to somehow to, should I give birth, or if it's been, I don't know. It's a difficult situation. And for me as a person that I need to have a choice in everything that I'm doing, it's an important scene. And yeah, but at the same time, it was funny that it had to be serious because behind the joke, there is another big question, not even a message, it's a question. Is this right or is this wrong? To take the choice from people. It should not be right for me. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's profoundly interesting in the issues that it's raising, but it does it in such a funny way that there's nothing else quite like it. On the other hand, you've got the fake menstrual blood at this cotillion ball, which was so ridiculously funny, the look on their faces, and you just went there, like the dancing, the lifting up the skirt. I think like for that, they should hand you an Oscar. Talk to me about that scene because it was so funny. It was so ridiculous, but so funny.
So that scene for me also is probably the most important scene. And maybe that's why I'm a little bit sad that COVID didn't help for people watching this movie together, because that kind of a humor is also kind of contagious. And if I imagining if we were more than like 3 or 4 people is what is acceptable, if it was like hundreds of people around, there's gonna be like a big laugh. People were going rolling on the floor because it is funny. And at the beginning, most of the people are actually really supportive, no matter this kind of a Roma music that is and they're clapping, and it's sweet and it's cute because I'm coming from this weird country and I'm with my father. It's also like a debutante ball, and they're laughing and smiling, and at the same time when you're showing this huge amount of blood. And I remember when we finished the dance, the whole floor was full of blood, and we were even able to sleep on the floor because it was so wet, and it was kind of gross. But it wasn't a real blood, to be honest.
No, but yeah, I watched it with a bunch of people and we were screaming. Like, it was just the best. One of the, I think we just needed this film to come out. We've gone through so much this year as a world, and to see that this film made us all laugh so much, I think. But what I'll take most away, so my final question, is the ending. I did not see it coming with Tutar and Borat. And Tutar, she's now an acclaimed Kazakh journalist, and they're covering the parade. And to have those Americans now being laughed at by, the tables were turned. And I just found that so profound. I did not see it coming. What did you think of the ending?
Of the ending, of the running from the Yankees.
Yeah.
in the original
Yeah.
the original movie is running from the Jews.
Yeah.
So now Borat realized that this is not the problem anymore because he's been to America again, and this is probably his choice. Probably Sasha knows better because he's the creator of this. But because of this journey, they learned that it doesn't matter. I don't know. Am I right? But it doesn't matter that America is so much bigger than their country. Uh, there are still issues that are even worse than in some
Yeah.
smaller countries, and we should do our best to, I don't know, to keep things going better somehow, and should be responsible about COVID and about, I mean, here is coming Miss America, and she has a gun, and poof, poof, poof. I mean, I'm sorry, but this is horrible. You should not be, I don't know.
Loved
Not
it. It's very cutting and incisive. I just think it was perfect. So, I'll congratulate Sacha Baron Cohen if I ever speak to him. But in the meantime, Maria, thank you so much for your time, and thanks so much for making us laugh. Like, you really made me laugh more than anybody else this year.
You have no idea how much I appreciate what you're saying right now, because my background is really dramatic parts.
Yeah.
Like teenage pregnancy, teenager with disabilities, with mental illness, with suicide thoughts, with transgressive affair with her father, and that kind of things. And being able to be a part of a comedy and playing a comedic part, this is my comedic debut. Now I'm even more interested, and I want to dig deep inside this comedy space. So thank you so much.